My name is Liz Limon. I'm with Fighting Back Santa Maria Valley, and I've been with Fighting Back the past 5 years, and it's been nothing but a pleasure. And I'm going to be facilitating Respect Day at your school with Mike. So I'm very excited to be a part of this, and I cannot wait to see the positive outcome and impact that it's going to have on your campus. So I do want to just go over a little bit of what we're looking for from adult participants and volunteer guides. So I hope that you'll be able to stay on this video and just kind of see what that entails and how the day is going to go. All right. So we do ask all adult participants and volunteer guides that you can stay all day. We do want full participation. Um, we are going to be assigning some small groups. So we want to make sure that these students feel comfortable enough to share with you and build that rapport with you throughout the day in those small groups. So we do ask you to be prepared to arrive and be committed to participate the entire day, as it will be crucial once we begin. The next thing that we ask is being positive and understanding, kind, patient, and of course, compassionate. We want to model that positive behavior that we are looking for and expecting from the students. So your energy and your full participation will affect the attitudes and activities throughout the day. So we do want to make sure that we are bringing that understanding, kind, patient, and compassionate best self of ours. So if that requires getting a great night's sleep the night before, having a great breakfast, the morning of, whatever it is to help you be prepared to be your best self that day, to be there for the students. And again, we thank you for your participation. And the next thing we want to talk about is those breakout groups. So breakout groups are going to allow for deeper levels of sharing, and it's going to help us identify which students might need support following the program. So your role as a adult participant, volunteer, will be, of course, including all students that is in our small groups. We want to make sure that nobody is left out. And there are going to be times where students aren't going to feel comfortable right off the bat to share. But we hope that over a few sessions, maybe they skip the first time, they don't want to share. That is completely fine. But if they are not sharing throughout the whole day, maybe pull them to the side and see if they need to talk just you and them one on one, if possible. And of course, if time allows, and try to encourage them to share if they can. Maybe you sharing your personal story with them or with the small group to encourage the sharing, of course. Of course, we do ask that you sit close and are near or standing near students to make sure you are there for support and, of course, giving them full attention. We want to make sure that you are monitoring each group member's attendance. Listening, actively listening, of course. So we want to make sure that, when one person is speaking, we want to give them full attention, eye contact, of course. I know it may be hard for students, but, please model again that behavior. When the youth and students are speaking, we want to make sure we're looking at them and just listening, not listening to respond back or feeling the need to construct those answers while that student is speaking or sharing, but sometimes just listening. Sometimes we don't need to say anything at all, but just let that student share. We also want to make sure that we show value to the student that is sharing, accept their feelings as well as their emotions. We want it to be a judgment-free zone, and also we want to give the nonverbal encouragement so as not to interrupt them. But maybe it's nodding our heads, Maybe it's a pat on the back, whatever is appropriate in that time. And you'll know what's best. Of course, when we talk about actively listening, we just want to make sure that, again, we are letting them doing the talking, that we don't hijack the conversation, but again, just letting the student take that conversation where it needs to go. So going with the flow, um, being supportive, of course, of the participants and giving them that space for those natural conversations, organic conversations could just happen, and allowing the students to have the courage to share. Also, tears, or please don't, discourage the students if they're crying. It's okay for those tears to flow. We want to make sure that this is a brave space for students to express whatever feelings and emotions may come up. We do want to give participants, students, um, that safe place, that brave space to share the feelings and emotions. I do want to go over what brave space means. So, brave space is an environment that acknowledges the challenges that both students and faculty have when attempting to have these discussions around these difficult and sensitive topics such as race, power, privilege, and the various forms of oppression for the purpose of learning. I'm going to now share an invitation to a brave space poem. This is by Mickey Scott B. Jones, and this will help you create that brave space after hearing this poem. Together, we will create brave space because there is no such thing as a safe space. We exist in the real world. We all carry scars, and we have all caused wounds in this space. We seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. It will not always be what we wish it to be, but it will be our brave space together. And we will work on it side by side. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that your small group can create that brave space. And again, students will feel encouraged to share their feelings, their thoughts, and their emotions. So now we get to mandated reporters. I do encourage you to remind students that you are a mandated reporter, explaining what exactly that means, as some students are going to share very personal stories that might require further attention and may result in having to report incidents. Some of these stories that students might share with you may be things that they've never shared with anyone before. And we encourage you again to, maybe say something like, just so you know, I am a mandated reporter. If I'm being told that you are hurting yourself or others, or you feel like hurting yourself or others, or somebody is hurting you, then that is the only time that we would go out of this confidentiality and try to get you the best help you need with another trusted adult, or somebody else that can get that student the right help that they need. So please, again, share that you are a mandated reporter. And most of all, we want to make sure that you have fun. We want this to be a time for you to allow yourself to feel the change and emotions of the day. We understand that role modeling is so important, so we do encourage you to play and enjoy the day's activities, and most of all, um, creating that brave space for students. All right. And last, we will be having lunch. It is a school lunch that will be provided. If you are not interested in that school lunch, then we encourage you to please bring your own sack lunch. if that's what you prefer. But other than that, I'm so excited to be sharing this day with you on Respect Day. I cannot wait to see again the positive impact that it will have on the outcome and after. So thank you very much for being a part of this day. Your role is so important for these students. And I thank you again for taking the time to participate. And I will see you on Respect Day. Thank you.